All right. Today I will be talking about gender differences and inequalities in sports. So, let's start with the three articles I found. The three articles that I read all contained information about male sports being dominant to female sports. There was essentially a culture around having males dominate the social media platform against females. Females being marginalized and sexualized in their sports, essentially. Most of the studies showed people had found male sports to be more dominant than female sports. The articles I found were specific to portraying male dominance on social media. The newspaper I used or found to use was the New York Times. I used the athletics section and reviewed that over the past couple days. The men's side of sports was far more superior than the women's side. The male side had a lot more articles about their sports than female sports. There was a lot more pictures about male sports than female sports. In comparison, the obviously males dominated the media. So, each day there was 30 or more articles on the New York Times talking about men's sports and only 3 each day for women. I checked every day, and for the pictures there was 10 or more for men and maybe 1 or 2 for women. The lengths of the articles stayed the same. They were both similar depending on the story, but there was just far more male articles than female articles, which just shows the males dominate the social media platform in sports. So, I used observation to observe each day and how the data changed within each article and within the New York Times. I also used ratios to see the comparison of male articles to female articles or male pictures to female pictures. Also, I used media updates. So essentially, because I'm a sports guy myself, so I get updates from ESPN just about every day. And so I counted each day how many updates I got from ESPN. And each day, here on this table, right here, blue being male and orange being female, I got way more for the male sports than the female sports. So it's a pretty big gap, which just shows there's some inequality there. The women should be getting the same recognition as the men. It's just the media is just putting more out for male sports than female sports. The results for males and females were consistent within each other, but I got a lot more male sport updates than females. The article ratio was 30 to 3, just about. Again, I was checking every day. There was always more male articles than female articles, which helps prove the point of gender difference and inequality according to the articles I read and the New York Times. There are far more male sports than female sports, which isn't right because, again, we want everyone to be equal and, of course, get the recognition they deserve. Females play sports just as males do, so they should be getting just as much or more posts than males. It should be consistent and the same. So there's a pretty big gap there from male sports to female sports. Again, showing each day on the far right up here, my table, I counted articles for that day, 30 plus, means 30 or more for males to females, which was not near 30. So, sorry, did not mean to do that. So in conclusion, I found male sports to be more dominant in the media compared to female sports. There was a lot more articles and websites and social media platforms that had male pictures compared to females. So essentially, the culture around that is that males dominate the sports industry because the females don't get as much recognition as the males do. Females tend to just not play sports at a younger age just because they see those posts and they feel like it's just not worth it. They're not going to get the recognition they deserve. So only very little females continue on with professional sports compared to the males. In some of the articles, the authors talked about that, essentially saying the media just doesn't really care about them. So that poses the result, or excuse me, that according to the results, that is true. So that concludes the fact that male sports dominate the media. That's true. Males dominate the sports media, and it shouldn't be that way. Again, females and males should both have equal representation of their respected sports, so that this conversation isn't even happening. So thank you for listening, and I hope you found some interesting information.